Hi. So I'm feeling really called to speak for a few minutes about the concept of maybe the universe testing you, or maybe your spirit guides or angels, ancestors, loved ones judging you, about you messing up, right? I'm here to kind of dispel those myths, because that's what they are in spirituality. And it does mean that there's a sense of personal accountability there. So I think, I don't have notes, but I think that we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about here is, let's think about how sometimes we see people say, oh, the universe is testing me. Test is not the correct word for it. And this is just my opinion. Maybe you listen to other spiritual teachers who tell you differently, but in my opinion, test is not the right word for it. What they're doing is they're not testing you. They're not putting you to a challenge. There's no mission to pass or fail here. What you will have is what I think Gabby Bernstein calls them universal assignments. I've also heard them called divine assignments. Some people call them life lessons, okay? So think about, I'll just use this as an example. Say somebody is dating and they tend to have a certain type and they go for that certain type, and in the end of that relationship, that certain type always cheats on them. This is just an example off the top of my head. It's not about anybody specific. Well, clearly there's a pattern here in the type of men that you're going for. And you, in this scenario, it's a woman seeking a man. I don't know why, but that's what I'm seeing in my head. In this type of scenario, right, she's got something that she's got to work through that is making her be drawn to these type of people who are going to do these things. She needs to think about the way that she's acting in the relationship that's allowing her to accept this behavior or to choose men who would choose this behavior. Certainly, I'm not saying that the woman is responsible for the men's bad choices, right? The universe isn't now going to put a man who's going to cheat on you into your path to test you and see if you'll fall for it again. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is we're calling it a universal assignment, a divine assignment, a life lesson. What the universe wants is for you to figure out what that thing is that all these men have in common that you're so drawn to, and what's unhealed within yourself that is making you seek these people out and work on it and fix that. And if you meet a man who meets that criteria and you're unable to heal yourself and fix that wound, then you're repeating the same cycle again. You're repeating that lesson. You're repeating that universal assignment. But it's not out of judgment. It's not out of punishment. It's not because you failed the test and now you're doomed to repeat it. It's because you were given this opportunity to finally learn this lesson and put it behind you and put the kibosh on it, and whoops, maybe you weren't ready yet. It's all right, try again. That's how your spirit guides in the universe look at it. They're not sitting there going, shame on her. She's never gonna learn. When will she learn? They don't care. And I don't mean they don't care as in they don't care what happens to you. Obviously they care. That's the whole thing. They care a lot. But they don't care that you didn't get it right. They're not mad at you. They're not judging you. They're not disappointed in you. In fact, they're still celebrating you and they're still congratulating you because maybe something in you came a little bit further this time than you had last time. Maybe something in you learned a little bit more this time. Maybe they're just celebrating that you were brave enough to try again, right? Because maybe in this scenario, this made up woman had sort of backed away from dating for a while because she felt like she was repeating this pattern. Maybe now she was finally brave enough to try again, and it turns out it was the same type of guy, but now we're celebrating that she was brave enough to conquer that part of the story and try again. The universe and your guides are always celebrating you. They're always celebrating you, even when you screw up. It's not a screw up. Your guides in the universe don't think that you ever screw up. You never disappoint them. In fact, even when things don't go the way that you in your human mind think they should have or that you wanted them to, they're celebrating because guess what? That was part of the plan too. You were sent this instance so that you could learn something, to grow from it and to become better. And you have, and look, and now next time this universal lesson comes up for me, I'll know a little bit more and I might be able to conquer it this time. This applies to the concept a little bit of reincarnation too, right? Because lots of times, okay, say I do a past life reading. Now I should say, this is a whole nother video for a whole nother day, but time is not real. I know that's like a wacky concept for a lot of people. I don't think reincarnation actually works the same way that, the way that people sort of think it does, because on the other side, there's no such thing as time. You can be anywhere and nowhere and everywhere all at the same time. Like, time doesn't really exist. It's a construct of humanity. But anyway, in reincarnation, our soul may have to redo a lifetime because in that previous lifetime, we never checked off the list that universal assignment. Our soul never healed whatever that confusion was. It never figured it out. It never put the puzzle pieces together. So we are given the gift of an opportunity to try again by coming back down to a new life. I say back down, heaven, whatever that construct. So that is how the universe and your guides look at you. They are not testing you. They are celebrating your successes, no matter how small they are. And they are gifting you beautiful opportunities to try again, okay? It's not a test. You didn't fail. You didn't do anything wrong. The other part of this that I've been hearing a lot lately, it's come up in several readings, is the concept that no matter what you choose, it will be the right choice for you. It will be the right choice for you. Because even if things go terribly, which sounds scary and maybe painful, that's meant to be part of it. That happened, whatever happens, is because there was a reason for it or an opportunity for growth out of it in some way. So any choice you ever make is basically going to be the right one, if you look at it from this whole perspective. Now they keep bringing personal accountability in my ear. And I think the reminder is just that that if you consider your spirit guides, your angels, all the beings that are looking out for you and cheering for you, if you consider them to be so positive and uplifting like that, then we need to remember that the person we need to be accountable for is us. We're not trying to get brownie points to heaven. We're not trying to get a ticket through the pearly gates by doing all the right things, okay? You're already guaranteed. You're fine. I promise, okay? You're okay. You don't need to do any of that. The only person you need to be accountable for is yourself. And so we need to remember that when we're making our choices and we're making our plans and we're trying to learn from our lessons and we're looking at the hard things that happen to us through a lens of, okay, how can I learn from this? Thank you for the opportunity to grow. That was really painful. I'm glad it's over with. And now I've learned these things from it, right? When we look at our life through that lens, the only person that you need to be accountable for is you, your own growth here in this lifetime and in the next, and your soul's eternal, infinite path and cycle and growth, okay? So if you are attempting to do something and your heart, my kids are playing Play-Doh and they're very loud. Can you hear them? If your heart is not at the central focus of what you're doing, you are never going to feel that oomph of personal accountability. Okay, the pain kind of has to come with it when we have upset, because otherwise we would never have personal accountability, right? If in this example with this woman, if men keep breaking her heart by cheating on her over and over and over again, and she doesn't really care, then she will never have the personal accountability to heal in this lifetime that she's in, to heal that wound, to get better. So the only person she can please with it, right? The only person that she can focus on here is herself and her own personal accountability of dealing with her own issues in relationships that make her keep choosing relationships that are unfulfilling and unsatisfying to her. And some people, maybe she chooses not to date and that's it for this lifetime and we'll try again in the next time. You know, who knows? But personal accountability is where it comes from. And so when you're trying to do things that don't come from a place of the heart, from something really important to us, it can be really, it lacks the oomph. And so we're not as keen to keep trying it. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me know if you found this helpful or insightful for you. I don't even know what I said. I just rambled for 10 straight minutes. I hope that you're well. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. And remember, you're the only one at the end of the day that you have to answer to, because everybody up there is cheering for you. And I'm cheering for you. You got this. Make good choices. I love you. Bye.